8 a.m. on a Monday morning and you're ready to do your daily job hunt. You open your laptop, pull up your Excel sheet ready with all the latest updates on your job hunt. You then log into LinkedIn and begin scrolling through all the jobs posted. Sparks and Mensa, Abibus, Peter Finland. You've applied for them all, sending them all the same CV and portfolio link, but you haven't heard back from any of them. You're at that stage where you're starting to by heart every job's description because you've looked at them over and over again every day for the past 3 months. But wait, what is this? There's a new job opening at 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 for a menswear, athleisure and activewear designer. And 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 is your dream company. You've always wanted to work there and design clothes for the millions of customers and loyal fans. You've admired them your entire life, and to even get a chance to step into their beautiful headquarters. Okay. Let's take a pause because we're going to put together a plan that's going to help us get that 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 job. A plan that I have tried and tested, but I have never given the details of until today. So the first thing that we're gonna do is not apply for this job. So Christina, what exactly is the plan? The plan, guys, is to come back in 7 days and apply for it. But what are we gonna do meanwhile? We're gonna be busy doing the challenge of a lifetime. First, we research our dream company 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 thoroughly. Second, we make up a brand and design a collection for it that is strangely similar to what 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 is currently doing, but we add in our own creativity as well. Third, we upload this collection onto Behance. And fourth, we come back here and apply for this job, but we don't stop there. We are gonna find the LinkedIn profiles of the HRs and the design team heads from 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 who posted this job and send them all a message that says, I would like to apply for this job. Here is my CV, and here is a link to a project from my portfolio that will help you determine my design style and my level of skill. And what's gonna happen next? They will open your link to find a well-crafted project that looks exactly like something 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 would sell. They will be pacing in their offices saying to each other, hey, she already designs like one of our current designers. Her collection embodies 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭's exact style and signature look. On top of that, her collection has a wealth of new and innovative ideas. This is the designer that we need to hire. You guys, in a crowd of people submitting portfolios to 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭, showing runway outfits or Met Gala outfits, you will be submitting a project that is tailored to 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭's tastes and preferences and made for their target customer. You see where I'm going with this? So let's get to work and jump straight into it. Like I mentioned, let's say that we give ourselves 7 days to complete this project. If you finish earlier, all the better, you're a star. Go ahead and apply. But here is how I would plan out my 7 days. On day 1, which is today, we are going to thoroughly research 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 in 2 ways. The first kind of research is simply studying the job description. What exactly do they want? We can see that they need an activewear and an athleisure designer, of course, but somewhere in the job description, you will find the technical skills that they are looking for. So here they've listed Adobe Illustrator, here's Clo3D, we can see trend research, flat sketches, and tech packs. So I'm going to take note of these 5 skills and make sure that in my new portfolio project, I show all these 5 skills clearly. For the second kind of research, we're going to read all about 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 on Google. We're going to go to their website, check their products, read articles about them, etc. And basically, we're going to study the following 7 details. Number 1. Their target customer. Who is their target customer? We know it's menswear, but do they cater to Gen Z or the millennials or somebody else? Since the role has an activewear designer, does that mean that they create clothes for hardcore athletes or simply fitness enthusiasts? What lifestyles or professions do their target customers have? What level of eco-consciousness, and so on? Second, fabrics. What are their signature fabrics? Now, every brand has standard fabrics that they keep repeating for most of their collections. Check the products on their website and note down the most commonly used fabrics and their compositions. Maybe it's melanges or slubs or cotton poly blends. Maybe they have been venturing into recycled fabrics like recycled polyester, recycled nylon. Third, what is their signature look in terms of colors? Do they do neutrals or do they experiment with a loud, bold palette? Are they famous for specific colors? Maybe anthracite or maybe digital lavender. Fourth, What silhouettes do they usually do? Are their tops all oversized and drop-shouldered and baggy? Are their joggers all drop-crotched? Are they famous for doing muscle tanks? On their website under bestsellers, are you seeing an unusual number of half-zip hoodies? Fifth, check their graphics. Maybe they keep it simple with just a brand carrier, but maybe they go crazy with all-over prints. Do they like doing monograms? Maybe they like placement prints. Do they do stripes or checks or geometric prints or abstract prints? Do they have a ton of typography or motivational slogans? Sixth, we are also going to look at print techniques. For instance, does it look like they do sublimation prints or screen printing, heat transfers or DTG, discharge printing, foil printing, HD print, etc. And finally, seventh, on a lower priority if you have the time, also research their trims. Look at the buttons that they use or maybe the zippers. For instance, under zippers, do they do reverse coil zipper, nylon coil zipper, plastic molded zipper, water resistant zippers, two-way zippers, etc. And that is it for day one, you guys. Write everything down somewhere because guess what? This is going to be your guide for the collection that we are going to design for 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭. While I create my designs, which you will see in a moment, I will constantly be coming back to check the data that I have written down here to ensure that my portfolio project stays in line with this. This is everything that your collection needs to embody. So day one is done. Great job, you guys. On day two, we have a few more tasks to accomplish. I'm going to first invent my own brand, and now that I know how my project has to be designed, I need to think of a theme or an inspiration. And thirdly, I'm also going to look for an inspiration for my project's layout. Let me explain everything starting with 1. Because you might be thinking, why do we need to invent a brand? Can't I just design a collection for 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 itself or another existing brand that is similar to 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭? Well, the thing is that we are not allowed to use an existing brand's name or logo in any of the designs that we create for our portfolio. That will get you into trouble and is a form of copyright if I'm right. So we're gonna make up our own activewear and athleisure brand. And you know what? Let's call it 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭. Actually, let's make that 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭, just because that Y looks cooler to me. So we have our name now. Let's go think of an inspiration. And this took me a few hours, but since 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 is a brand about being active and promoting the gym lifestyle and working out, I decided to take inspiration from those last few seconds at the very end of a workout. When you're almost done and so tired, when every fiber of your being whispers to surrender and you really want to stop but you push through. That is when true growth occurs. When the weight feels heaviest and the mind begins to waver. Those last few seconds when you are so close to a breakthrough. So I'm gonna name this collection 10 Seconds to Disruption. And finally, this is such an underrated step, but guys, if you can find an inspiration image for your portfolio project's layout, that will make life so easy for you. All you have to do is get onto Pinterest and type search terms like editorial layout ideas or magazine layout or photo book layout, and you will be flooded with some pretty cool ideas. I ended up going with these 3 pictures for my layout inspiration. Throughout the project creation that you're going to see in this video, I won't be showing it on camera, but I'm going to be constantly referring these images for the layout while I create my project. And that is it for day 2. It's day 3, everyone. From today up until day 7, we're going to work on putting this collection together. So here is a fresh artboard on Adobe Illustrator, and this is where I'm going to create my project, partly because it is a software that I am so fluent with, and also partly because the technical skills listed in 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭's job description was Adobe Illustrator. So if I make it to the interview round, I'm going to tell my interviewer that this entire project was created on AI. So you guys ready? Let's get started. I'm beginning my project by putting together a table of contents, which is of course a sequential list of the different parts of my project, giving the viewer, in this case the recruiter, a quick overview of what's inside and also an easy way to navigate the whole thing. First up is an introduction to the brand, because we have literally created 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐭 entirely from scratch, so it is imperative to offer the recruiter some much needed context and a clear understanding of what your brand even is. I'm going to follow that by an introduction to the range, which is a brief explanation outlining the ideas and inspiration behind my collection. I'm then going to add in my mood board, followed by my athleisure range, my activewear range, and finally, this is optional, but I also like to add a behind the scenes section where I show a bit of the ideation process. So this is it, my contents page and the plan for my project. Let's take a screenshot of it and keep it at the side here so that we can refer it while working on the project. And yes, you guys, I'm going to be designing 2 ranges, one activewear and one athleisure, just because this is a job opening that requires a designer for both categories, and I really want to show the recruiter that I can do both. Okay, let's move on and start putting together these different sections, and first up is the introduction to the brand. I'm just going to extend my artboard down like so and begin right below. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering why I am not creating a new artboard and simply extending the previous one, it's because this project is going to be uploaded onto Behance and I would like one section of my project to easily flow into the next, unless if I deliberately want a break in the flow. You'll see what I mean at the very end once all the pages are complete. I am also not sticking to any specific artboard dimension. This one is about 1,000 pixels wide, but every page's height will most likely be a different dimension from the last. So in my introduction to the brand page, I explain that 𝐀𝐝𝐝 is a men's activewear and athleisure brand that keeps basketball at its core. This collection is for those who foray into the active life with, firstly, an athleisure range that will introduce him to fashion and functionality, and secondly, an activewear range that introduces him to training and technicalities. Basically, remember all this research that we did on 𝐀𝐝𝐝? I'm using this to make 𝐀𝐝𝐝 sound like a very similar brand. Apart from this intro, I'm also adding a project details section underneath here, where I clearly state that this is a menswear project, it's an autumn-winter collection, my theme is 10 seconds to disruption, and that in my athleisure collection, I will be designing 10 garments, and in my activewear collection, I will be designing 6 garments. Let's zoom out and have a look at what we have so far. This looks okay, so I'm going to give it a background and move on to the second part of my project, which is the introduction to the range. I'm going to place my second artboard right below my first, like so that both artboards will eventually seamlessly blend into one another when exported. Now to introduce my range, I like to get a little creative. Instead of writing out just a paragraph explaining what my range is about, I like to write a poem or a sonnet or a limerick or just a free verse. Just any type of literary composition to make the reader feel all the feels for our collection. What is 10 seconds to disruption actually about? For my range, I am trying to make them feel that last moment of desperation, of being just 10 seconds away from doing something amazing. You guys can pause here to read, but that is all for my introduction to the range section. Next up on our list, as we can see here, is the mood board, my favorite part, you guys. So I already have 3 very detailed videos up on my channel on how you can create very creative mood boards. I talk about where you can go to find pictures, what type of pictures need to be included, how you can create the perfect layout for them, etc. I'm gonna link them in the description below. But in short, you guys, your mood board should show the mood of your range, of course, and also simultaneously bring in style details that the viewer can expect to see in your collection. And this is what I put together. Now, how did I know what pictures to put into my mood board? I used the research that I initially conducted on 𝐀𝐝𝐝. So I found out that they have innovative clothes with technical details and styling elements that aid you in performing a workout or any physical activity. So those are exactly the kind of pictures that I looked for, but I also brought in my own creativity, because I want to show them that I can design clothes that are very similar to what their designers are currently doing, but I also have fresh, new, amazing ideas that they can use. So in my mood board for 𝐀𝐝𝐝, I have pictures of the core of my brand, basketball, followed by an image like this related to my theme, 10 seconds to disruption, showing desperation, and it actually looks like the last few seconds of an activity. I also have images of what you can expect to see in my collection, like functional garments with added storage space, mesh panels for breathability and ventilation, reflective details for performing an exercise in low visibility areas, and modular garments with details like zip-up side seams for a fit that can be customized to different activities. I am not gonna show photos of every single detail that's gonna be in 𝐀𝐝𝐄𝐈's collection, but I'm adding the most interesting ones here into my mood board so that it catches the recruiter's interest and makes him excited to see what's in my collection. Now, you guys know that I love animating my boards a little, so I am additionally putting this board into Premiere Pro and giving it some movement like this so that when it goes onto Behance, it looks a little fancy. If you want to know about how I do these simple animations, let me know in the comments below and I will put up an Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial as well. And that is it with the mood board itself. I'm then finishing off this section by adding a tiny note that says that I will be using the same mood board for both my athleisure and activewear line, but the fabrics and the colors seen in each collection will vary. I end by saying, first we look at the athleisure line. Let me zoom out and show you what we have so far. Once again, I'm going to give this a background, and I'm actually just stretching out the background from page 1 onto page 2 for that seamless look that I want between my pages on Behance. Awesome! Let's move on and get to the fourth section of our project, the athleisure range. Now, remember that the previous section ended by saying that both my collections, activewear and athleisure, have the same mood board but different fabrics and colors. Because I said that, I'm going to start this section by talking about the fabrics and colors first of my athleisure range. So I'm putting together something like a fabric board, adding photos of fabric swatches that I plan to use in my collection, as well as listing their fabric compositions and weights. Now, where did I get these fabrics and their compositions from? Again, from the research that I conducted at 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐿. These are the fabrics that are very similar to what they are currently doing. This is me once again showing them that I am already familiar with the fabrics that they work with. Below, I'm showing all of the Pantones for these fabrics that you will see in my collection. Again, where did I get these Pantones from? These Pantones are a very close color palette to what 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐿 uses, as I found out in my research. I also want to add a quick tiny section for prints and print techniques my range will have. This is basically my graphic board. For 𝐀𝐝𝐄, I am looking at using a high-density silicone heat transfer print, and I've also created these 4 𝐀𝐝𝐄 logos. Every style I design in my athleisure collection will have one of these logos, and they will be in high-density silicone heat transfer print. Next, I'm adding a note reiterating that 10 garments have been designed for my athleisure range and they have been put together into 5 looks, as you can see below. And on the next page, here are the 5 looks that I designed for 𝐀𝐝𝐄. Now, these 5 looks, I designed and put them together on 𝐾𝐿3D, and it approximately took me about 2 days, maybe 3 days. I have a tutorial up on my channel where I show you how I design clothes on 𝐾𝐿3D in case you are interested to check it out. I will link it in the description below. But in short, you guys, once again, use the research that you conducted for 𝐀𝐝𝐝𝐢𝐿 as a guide when you design. Also, ensure that all the elements you spoke of in your mood board are also included in your final collection. For example, when I explained my mood board to you, I spoke of bringing in functional garments with added storage space. I spoke of mesh panels for breathability and ventilation. I had reflective details for performing an exercise in low visibility areas. I had modular garments for a fit that can be customized to different activities, etc., etc. So make sure you bring in all the elements from your mood board straight here. And those are basically my 5 athleisure looks. What I'm going to do next is break down each look into multiple details so that the recruiter knows that I know what I am talking about when it comes down to actually constructing this garment. Now, you guys know that making tech packs is one of the primary tasks of a fashion designer. This is your chance to show the recruiter that you know the technical details of your garment. Let me take you through look 1. We have an oversized t-shirt paired with paneled joggers. I'm going to list the fabrics and then draw out my flat sketches onto a separate Adobe Illustrator document and add them here like this. Try to add in both the front and the back, guys. The more detail you show, the better. I'm then going to add labels, followed by close-up images of the most important parts of my garment, which I exported from 𝐀3D. For example, I am highlighting the pocket placed at the jogger's back waistband, followed by the pocket on the t-shirt at the wearer's right-hand side, followed by the Velcro fasteners at the hem that give the joggers an adjustable fit. I then went back to 𝐀3D and exported a turntable of my model and ended up with an animated sheet like this through Adobe Premiere Pro, because once again, I like my projects to have a bit of movement, and a turntable gives the viewer a 360-degree look of my garment. Now, in the exact same way that I created look 1, I went ahead and created look 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is look 2, this is look 3, here is look 4, and finally look 5. Okay, I'm back. I'm ending my athleisure section by presenting all 5 looks in a single frame. And here is a shot showing the front. And here is a shot showing the back. And with that, the athleisure range is done. Here is what the entire page looks like. Now, in the exact same format of the athleisure range, I'm gonna go put together the activewear range. So I'm going to play the whole thing like a time lapse so you guys can see exactly what happens. And that's pretty much it with the design, you guys. This next section is optional. As you can see here, I am adding a behind the scenes section. First up, I'm simply showing a screenshot of me working on 𝐀3D. And subsequently, this is accompanied by a tech sheet delineating a bunch of at-a-glance details, like construction details, artwork details, Pantone color references, printing methodologies, fabric compositions, fit descriptions, etc. You can pause here to take a close look. Whew, okay, and that is all, you guys. The project is done. Here is what the entire thing looks like on Illustrator. Great. Now remember the original 4 steps that we started with? We are currently done with 1 and 2. So let's go to step number 3, uploading everything onto Behance. And I have shown this before in a few other videos, and most of you probably already know this. But all you have to do is open your Behance profile, come up here to share your work, click on project, then drag and drop all your files onto the screen. Then sit back and wait for everything to upload. Once done, you can click here and rearrange your sheets just in case they uploaded in the wrong order. Click on Save New Order and then hit Continue. When this page opens up, give your project a title, add project tags that will help others find your project, add the tools that you used to create the project, like Adobe Illustrator, 𝐀3D, Premiere Pro. Now choose an appropriate category, and finally choose your project's visibility. I'm making mine visible to everyone so that you guys can go check it out on my Behance profile. And finally hit Publish. So this is my updated Behance profile and you can see the project right here. I'm going to come up here and copy this project's link so that I can use it in my next step, which is apply as well as reach out to 𝐀𝐝𝐝 team. To apply, of course, we go to our job posting on LinkedIn and we hit the apply button. But like I said way back at the start of this video, we are going to do more than just apply. We are going to reach out to 𝐀𝐝𝐝's team and send them a link to our project. Now again, most of you have already seen me do this, but basically there are 4 key ways in which I'm going to reach out to 𝐀𝐝𝐝's team and make sure that I get their attention. The first way is to contact the job poster. Now, very often, jobs posted on LinkedIn will have the job poster listed in that job opening itself. For example, here is an actual bunch of jobs posted on LinkedIn. At the very top is a menswear designer position at Shoppers Stop, which is a famous company. And along with all the job details that are listed on the right-hand side, we can also see a section called Meet the Hiring Team with a name listed here. I am blurring it out for this person's privacy, but what I would do is send them a message. Here is another famous company's job opening. This is a textile designer at Aditya Birla, and once again, on clicking it, I can see the job details on the right along with a Meet the Hiring Team section. So there is a good chance, you guys, that the company that you want to apply to has a posting on here along with their hiring team's details listed. So that is the first thing I'm going to do. The second way is to search and find the profiles of the HR team or the talent acquisition team from that company and send them your project. For example, in my search box up here, if I type Myntra Talent Acquisition, I can see the profiles of the HRs at Myntra. Let's click on this first profile, for example. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little and I can see that this HR is very actively hiring for openings. I mean, look at their latest job posting. We can see this was posted 5 days ago. So I'm going to connect with this person and send them a message saying that I came across a specific job opening and I am interested in it. Here is an example of a project that I worked on that can give you an accurate description of my skills. The third way is less common, but if you type the exact job that you are looking for into the search box, there is a chance that you will find design team managers sharing those exact job openings saying that they are looking for a candidate. Let's try typing fashion designer job opening Shoppers Stop and see if we can find anyone from the design team posting about it. Click on posts. And okay, it looks like nobody from the design team has posted it, unfortunately. But the reason I asked you to also try this method is because here is my own LinkedIn profile. And back when I was design manager, I posted a job opening for an associate designer on my profile. And the same was done by many other design team members at the time. So definitely give this way a try too. Because if you are able to find a design team member itself, then you guys, there is nothing like it. Because if they are impressed by your project, you have a direct entry into the team. Going through a HR is not required. My fourth way is to go to the company website and find an email that is specifically dedicated to careers. For example, let's say it's a designer position at Sabyasachi that you are applying for. I'm going to go to Google and type Sabyasachi careers. In the results that show up, in the very first listing itself, I can see the word contact. So I'm going to click on it. And if I scroll down, I can see that there is a section called Career Inquiries. And this is basically Sabyasachi's dedicated email for applicants who want to apply for a specific job. So I'm also going to send my project to this email. Let's look for one more example. I'm going to type Biba Careers this time. And right here, you can see their careers email. So in this way, you guys try all these 4 methods to grab the attention of the hiring team or the design team. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you find this video useful. Let me know in the comments below if you try out my strategy. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video.